Yay! The band is back together. Joe,
it's good to see you, Emily.
I haven't seen you in so long.
You're special. We love you, and it's good to be back. Tell us what happened in the, well, it was a couple trips, right?
Sure.
How long has it been?
I've seen
the last that I remember.
Joe, the biggest question.
St. Lucia.
Yes.
What happened at the lovely island of St. Lucia?
What kind of accent is that?
Oh, you're from
St.
the
Lucia.
beautiful island of St. Lucia.
Okay. My only question returning from the island is, are you on Team USA ski team yet?
I mean, it's getting close. I mean, I've been shredding it up pretty hard.
Have you?
I can't lie.
I can't believe you don't have an injury.
You know what? That's another one of those. Yes, you got it. I try to stay healthy. But when you said St. Lucia, it made me think, oh, wonderful. This is totally off topic.
Of course. It wouldn't be the Flame Central podcast powered by Alcova Mortgage if it wasn't off topic.
When we had this kid, when I was coaching football, we had it was like whatever 9 and 10 year olds, right? And we had this. His family like Indian heritage, like from India, right? And his dad wanted him to try to play American football, right? And so I'm like, yeah, bring him out, let's go. And he was a great kid, right? And his name was Ravi. And Ravi had a head of flowing, beautiful black hair.
The most beautiful hair.
The beautiful black hair, and his name was Ravi, right? And so I used to tell him at 9 years old in front of the team that, Ravi, you need to be on The Bachelor, right? And then I always look at him, Ravi. That's how you got the St. Lucia thing from, like St. Lucia. I used to look at Ravi, I'd say, Ravi. And he'd turn around and say, Coach. And I go, 25 beautiful women. I did it to him the whole season. From the lovely island of St. Lucia.
Okay. Back on topic here on the Flame Central podcast.
So what happened in St. Lucia?
Alcova Mortgage.
How was it?
It was great.
Was it great? Good weather?
It is far. It is very, very far. And it wasn't very fun coming back to 6 inches of rain and ice.
Did you get in okay, or did you get
delayed? So we got in. We flew in that Tuesday night at like midnight and flew into Greensboro. Okay. And the roads were iced over, so we just stayed the night and took it easy on Wednesday. So yeah, it was a beautiful island.
A while now?
I am never leaving home again.
Yeah, she says this every time. Yeah, she says this every time.
It was a long, long, long travel day. But I did bring you guys back a couple presents.
What? Was there a Buc-ee's there?
Yeah.
Was there Buc-ee's in St. Lucia?
She's going to give me back the shirt that I gave.
I want it, maybe I'll give
she's going to re-gift the shirt back to me.
Yeah.
So, but I want you guys to hang around because you guys are really going to think these gifts are pretty funny. And they're St. Lucia themed. And I think that like with your ski recovery, it could be really nice.
Real quick, before we jump into this, I do want to mention, we talked about on last week's show, that we want our listeners to email us. We've got new mugs coming out very soon.
Have we showed the proofs?
No, don't.
Oh my gosh,
We'll have a big unveiling, like reveal when they come in.
I mean,
all ordered up.
Yeah.
I can't believe how cute
they look. Awesome. But what we want from you is email the show, flamecentral@liberty.edu, to tell us how you watch or listen. Is it YouTube? Is it Spotify? Whatever. And when you do that, you'll be entered into our mug giveaway. We had about 50 people. We had about 50 people reach out since last episode. Nice. So don't try to double dip. We're on to you. Yeah. That's not going to work. But if you haven't emailed us yet, go ahead and email us, and we want to know how you take in the show. And we're going to give away a whole bunch of mugs, and you could be entered to win one of those.
Yeah. Do you watch on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, whatever it is? Let us know. flamecentral@liberty.edu. Yeah. We have a lot to cover on today's show. Men's basketball staying hot, winning their 4th straight. Women's basketball wins on senior day. We have some track talk. Liberty softball is legit despite dropping their last few games. We'll touch on that. Some baseball. Matt Warner was on the call yesterday for baseball. I don't know how they're playing in this weather, but
the wind was
dicey.
No, thank you. And then last but not least, we will cover some spring ball, some comments that Coach Chadwell made before
and Taelon Peter on the show.
Yes.
Fan favorite.
Matt,
were you going to say that?
Yeah, well, of course.
Oh, I thought you were. Okay, all right.
Best
Go ahead.
for last.
No, you do it. You do it. Go ahead.
The best for last. Thank you. Yeah, bring it back.
Go ahead.
Ken. Thank you. The best for last. We have Taelon Peter, the 6th man of the year. We are giving that honor away right now.
Give him that award right now in
Like, it's not even close. Back-to-back 20-point performances. Doug's in the background here. I don't know if something's going on.
Everything all right, Doug?
Everything good?
Doug's just taking a...
Need anything?
Okay, no, Doug's just...
All right, we're good.
All right. I don't know what that was.
Everything that wow. Like he was coming over here.
Yeah.
Like usually, like when we're recording the show, Doug's over there like sitting and having breakfast, and he's like walking over here in the darkness towards me. I'm like, oh gosh, we're not recording or something.
I think we're good.
But anyways, great show ahead today. Let's start out with men's basketball. 2 games on the road, the 2 furthest spots in CUSA, starting at New Mexico State, and then UTEP? Yes, UTEP. Gosh. Matt, what was the most impressive thing? Because both of these games, Liberty trailed at the half for the first time this season. So 2 comeback wins, you can say. What impressed you the most about their performance?
What impressed me most was the way they played in the second half, because we thought about some of the losses they'd had, even a couple of the wins. They had really struggled in the second half of games, and you were like, oh man, that's why we were so concerned. Are they just wearing out? Especially in this, the second, game of a 2-game swing like that. Like, are they just getting tired? But to be able to play so well in the second half. New Mexico State game, everyone that watched it knows, 3 of 14 from the free throw line in the first half. Like, brutal, right? But they bounced back in the second half, shoot 15 to 16. So great response there. In the UTEP game, here's a stat that I loved. They only had 6 points in the paint in the first half. And you're like, oh boy, this is playing right into UTEP's hands. This is what they do. They pressure you. They make you uncomfortable. We finished with 31 points in the paint. So the second half, unlike that game on the road at Jack State earlier this year, where everything was perimeter and it just felt like we just didn't have it in us to go in there, that was different in this ball game. UTEP is a tough matchup. It is a team that has kind of had our number. They knocked us out of the tournament a year ago. And for them to be able to win that game, for me, I think I said one of the most impressive wins of the Conference USA era for Liberty was that win over UTEP. And now, I mean, it's all out there. Like, we're not just talking about early in the year, oh, you want to be in the top 6, right, going into the tournament.
You're talking top 2.
You want to be
top
in
2.
You have a chance to be in the top 2. You have a chance to win the regular season.
Yeah.
It's all out there. You have 2 home games coming up. FIU, got to take care of business there. And then you have Jacksonville State, who's in first place. We're a game back of right now. They play 2 games between now and then. That game could be the biggest game in Conference USA this year across the board.
And guess who's on the call?
Matt Warren,
well,
Emily
that's
Austin.
a bonus. But yeah. But
Yeah.
that game could,
Paul Mazzing.
that game very well could decide first place and go a long way towards deciding regular season champ in this league. So it's all out there for Liberty right now because of how they've played on the road.
It's been really, really great to see. And Taelon Peter, our guest, in just a moment, you'll see how he's contributed off the bench. It's just, and Coach McKay said it after the game, any given night, these guys are willing to do whatever it takes and adjust their roles in order to win. They're just all on the same page of like, I don't care how many minutes or how many points or like if you're passing me or not. Like, I just want to win the game and do whatever we need to do to put our team in the best position to win. It was really good for me to see. Got a little dicey there in the middle of the second half against UTEP when we're just like jacking up some shots that I was like, oof, was that the best shot? Probably not. But then we didn't just keep doing that. You know, like we continued to fight and like you said, like score more in the paint and stuff. So I'm really, really happy that they were able to get back that win and in adversity come back late, because I feel like once that happened later in games, they would wear down and not, respond. So it was really, really good to see them respond in both games.
And I think like the 2 things that really stick out, especially in basketball, because I've said this before, because everybody touches the ball, right? And so it takes time, especially if transfers in a new people, it takes time through it to really become crisp as a team. Right? So sometimes you see these basketball teams that may start out great because they play together for a long time, whatever it may be, and they're just hot at the beginning, but they don't ever really get a lot better. Then you have other teams, and this you've seen with Liberty, is they get that team chemistry together, and it comes later in the season. But then the next level above the team chemistry is then you got to get gritty. Yeah. And you got to find a way to win. You got to find a way. The grit, like you said, the 3 of 14, whatever it was from the free throw line. It takes a little bit of grit to come back in the second half and go 15 to 16 or whatever the number was, and then score 31 points in the paint when you really don't have anything going in the first half. Those like it's easy to bail on those things mentally, and to show not only the teamwork, but the grit to put those things together and find ways to win. That's what gives you the opportunity to play for a regular season championship, and then obviously championships beyond that.
And the poise. Like you can't like quantify just being a veteran. You know what I mean? Like a Taelon Peter, a Javon Moffmer. These are guys that have been playing ball, college ball for a long time.
Right.
Like they're not going to be shaken by whatever is going on. Like there's poise there. Like we get down early, whatever. There's no panic. There's no frustration. Like, you know, you see sometimes teams get down, things start going their way. Guys start like, you know, going at each other a little bit. There's just none of that. There's a lot of poise on this team to be able to kind of just say, all right, that's fine, whatever. Let's just keep one shot at a time, one possession at a time. Also want to shout out, though, Joe's boy, Xander Yates.
Yeah,
because
I was going to ask
in the
you about
first
that.
half of that game against UTEP, he kept the Flames in it. He had
Right.
8 points in the first half, and he ended up with 8. But we talked so much about those other guys off the bench. Those 8 points in the first half kept Liberty in the ball game. And again, the Yates, the Gabriel McKays, the Brett Deckers, those guys have a huge role with this team. And on this night, you know, it was
those
Yates
6
stepping
to 10 points from them, because obviously you're almost expecting from Taelon Peter to
Right.
get
I mean, he's getting you
15
20
to
a night
20 a
almost,
night.
yeah.
But, you know, it is promising to see. I mean, Kane Matheny, 13 against UTEP, 9 against New Mexico State. Like, you're not going to see that many nights. He's going to be up there in the 15 to 20 as well. So it is promising that it doesn't always have to be
Different ways to win.
Taelon.
Right.
There's
And if you
going
want
to
to
be
try
to
to
win.
take Matheny away, and we've seen teams pick him up at half
Right.
court,
Yeah.
be like, we're going to take him away. Well, I mean, what are you going to do when Taelon Peter's out there?
Yeah.
Right.
You know, Colin Porter has scored more when he's needed to. So, like, yeah, it's kind of a pick your poison situation. And, yeah, I love the way the Flames are playing right now. I love that they get a break this week, no midweek game. So they get
Huge
to kind of
for that
rest a little
rest.
bit, get their legs back, and then here we go. Like, you got a chance to close this thing out. And I mean, would you have thought? Like, I mean, you go back to last year and the struggle it was, especially on the road in conference play.
I mean,
and
Coach
now-
McKay's job was on the line just
I knew
weeks
you were
ago.
gonna
Okay,
say
wait. So,
that.
question for you.
Yeah.
So, Jacksonville State's up 1. We still play them, right? And so
Yeah.
they beat us the first time
At their place.
At their place. So now if we beat them, we're tied.
Yeah.
And so now you got to, then what's the tiebreaker?
Well,
we win or lose the tiebreaker right
think
now,
it
or
would
do they
depend
have to?
on-
Do
you
they
just
have to
need them to
lose another
lose.
game?
I don't know what
Do
the
we have to win
tiebreaker would
outright, or
be.
what's the tiebreaker?
So I'm not sure what the tiebreaker would be. I don't know if it would go to tiebreaker. Sometimes it's like with
5
the next
points?
team that's
Or-
below. Like
yes.
how do you? So it could start going
Your
that way.
record against the next.
Right. Which
team.
right now
Oh.
is Middle Tennessee, who we beat here. We haven't played there yet.
Oh,
And then
okay.
UTEP, who we split with. Kennesaw, who we were 1-0 against. New Mexico State, we swept. So that could be. I'll look into
That's
the
probably what it
tiebreaker
is.
scenario,
Yeah.
especially if Liberty wins Saturday on next week's show going into that game with
Yeah.
Jack State. I'll look that up so we have that.
And
But yeah.
that Jacksonville State game's on February 27th. Is that what you? Is that what's the date?
We'll talk about
It is
that.
on
We
next,
can't-
yes, the 27th.
The 27th.
And we talk about UTEP's kind of had Liberty's number. Jack State has had
Yeah.
Liberty's number. And they have won on this floor before. They snapped our, 45 or 44 game win streak years back. So that'll be a tough test. But hey, it's all right there.
One at a time.
One at a
You
time.
mentioned the poise, Matt, and this team is so mature. Coach McKay said it a million times, but it's so funny when you can just like see inside huddles of like how different coaches like respond. And I mean, it could be just so much the game's on the line, and like Coach McKay is the same person. I just think about myself in those moments. Can you imagine if I was?
I mean,
I was like leading a group of.
I feel like I've lived through some of those moments with you, Emily, and I can tell you,
We've already had
poise
them.
was not one of the words that came to mind. I can tell
I'd be
you.
like, okay,
Yeah.
who's gonna do?
There are a lot of words that come to mind. Poise, not one of them.
I
Yeah.
would be so stressed out. I don't know how he keeps his poise in those moments. And it's just, I guess he just believes in his team. I just don't believe
Just
in
like
you guys.
You
Yes.
believe in yourself.
Yes.
Hey, I know they're mean to me, but I still got them some great gifts from St.
can't wait to see.
Lucia.
Are we getting
You
these
guys
now?
are gonna no, I'm gonna give them to the guys after our interview with Taelon Peter. For the first time ever, we have a new guest. It is Taelon Peter. I mean,
People have been begging. Like, why haven't you had him on yet?
the star of
the
the
time.
show this season. So it's great that you're making some time for us. I don't know if you guys saw the very, very end of the game. It was a miracle that Emily Austin was still awake at 11 p.m.
yeah.
But the last thing I saw in that game was Taelon go down. I didn't know if you were doing like a little robot dance
Yeah.
for the victory, but it looked a little funky, and you had me on the edge of my seat. Please tell Flames Nation that everything is fine.
No, everything is fine. It was 100% just a little bit of a calf cramp.
Ah,
It hasn't happened to me in a while, so when it did, it locked up a little bit, and I just looked like a baby deer.
It got a little awkward. Yeah, you really
Awkward.
stiffened up there for a minute. Now you're kind of infringing on Colin Porter's territory with the calf cramp. That's
Yeah.
kind of his deal, so you might want to come up with your own.
Yeah,
your own
me and
thing, you
Colin
know?
we're locked in right now
Yeah.
on hydration
Yeah.
and whatnot.
Is that
so.
your own problem, your lack of hydration? Are you undisciplined with
Shrine is
hydration?
not going to be happy
Yeah.
about that.
Are you undisciplined with hydration? Do we need to get the strength conditioning
Let's get
coach
you
in
some
here?
pickle juice,
Listen,
Taelon.
it's nothing to do with our staff. Our staff does everything they can. It's definitely on us. But the back-to-backs are kind of hard, like the road trips.
And out west, that dry
west,
air
yeah,
out
yeah.
there, you know, there's a lot of factors.
A lot of
that go
things
in there.
go
Yeah,
into it,
yeah.
you know.
Well, what a successful road trip. You guys have now won 4 straight, 2 huge road victories, and you showed up, to say the least, back-to-back 20-point performances. How does it feel to be, contributing so much to this team, off the bench especially?
Yeah, it's great. I wondered a little bit at the beginning of the year where I would fit in, and I thought my gift was scoring, but early in the year I thought that maybe I'd have to go a different way, and find a way to be out on the court. But no, the guys have done a great job of getting me involved on the offensive end, so it's been fun. Yeah, what a great road trip.
You come from Arkansas Tech, and you were the guy there. So yeah, you talk about coming off the bench. Was there a conversation? What was that conversation like when, hey, your role's gonna be a little bit different than I'm sure you envisioned? And did it take a while for that to kind of like, all right, I can do this? I'm sure, like, just as a competitor, that it's probably a little bit like, are you kidding me? Like, do I need to show you what I did before? Like, what was that experience like?
Funny story, but it was actually like a relief, like to know that, on any given night, I actually have 4 or 5 guys that can go for 20 and help us win the game. It was kind of a relief because, yeah, if I didn't have 20 or whatnot, then it was kind of all on me. But now, having other guys that can take the load, like I got in foul trouble the other game, and having Caden to pick us up, it was a relief, So when I heard that, I was like, I don't care about scoring 20 points a game. I'd rather, play 25 minutes and win a game and have all these other guys help carry the load. So.
But are you still telling, like, Coach McKay, like, look what I can still do, and it's off the bench? Like,
It's fun. It's fun coming off the bench and doing that because of the people's reactions. People think anything you do off the bench is heightened, because if I was starting and putting these numbers up, it is what it is. But because I'm coming off the bench, it looks magnified.
It's interesting. We had a listener send in a question. We have a mailbag, not a big deal.
yes.
And
We have new mugs coming.
And they said, what are the numbers on Taelon Peter's shooting percentage on his first attempt coming off the bench? They're like, it feels like he never misses. And so we did crunch the numbers last week. We are crack research staff.
Numbers that
Yeah.
matter.
We have an extensive staff.
Get it? You like that?
I like that.
And I forget what it was now, but I think it was like in conference play, you're shooting it was like 78% or 80% on your first attempt. Like, do you sense that? And does that just open things up for you when you see that first one go down? Like, okay, we're good here.
100%. Like if the first one drops, then it definitely makes the game look a little bit different. If the first one doesn't drop, then I'm kind of like, okay, I'm gonna have to work for this first bucket and whatnot. But I would say a little bit, but not too much.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. When you get like hot, when you're like, man, I'm feeling it right now, and you knock down a few in a row, are you that guy that like when I get the ball now, I've knocked down a bunch, I'm hot, that those dudes who just grab it and they're like, I'll shoot from anywhere on the court right now, and they just and you're like thinking, okay, I know you're hot.
We're not going to name any names.
I know you're hot, but it's like, oh, that's not really a good shot. Do you find yourself feeling like, just give me the ball when I'm hot and let me shoot it from anywhere? Or are you more, even if you feel like, hey, I'm shooting the ball really well right now, a little bit more selective in the shot that you like to take? What's your attitude, I guess, going into when you're hot?
Yeah, I would say for me, I get a lot of my shots created for me. So it's not like I can just shoot the ball whenever I touch it. When I touch it, it's normally because I got a good look. So if they find me, like Colin and Caden and Owen and Zach, all of them do a great job of finding me while I'm open. So I know if I'm touching the ball, it's probably because they want me to shoot it. So I don't think that I would just take a heat check shot
Yeah. He checked shot.
We wouldn't blame you.
I wouldn't blame you.
I wouldn't blame you.
But yeah, they do a great job. If they see if I've hit a few shots in a row, they'll do something to get me open look. So
I feel like sometimes Flames Nation doesn't understand how talented CUSA basketball is. Coming from Division II Arkansas Tech, how do you describe the level of basketball that you're playing now? I mean, because it looks like you transitioned pretty well. So how different is it? How much more difficult?
yeah, it's definitely different. A lot of bigger talents. Like we're playing against real 7-footers, real 6'10", 300-pound guys. Like they're huge. So I say the reason my game translates a little bit is the shooting aspect. You know, it's hard to guard the three, but yeah, definitely bigger, more physical athletes. You know, there's a lot guys that can shoot and drive. You know, in Division II, I feel like you get a lot of guys that are either straight drivers or straight shooters. Here, it's like you got guys that can do both.
So how does that translate for you when you got here and you realize, like, hey, this is a different type of athlete, people with more skill set? For you, both offensively and defensively, what adjustments or improvements did you have to make to your game to sort of get yourself to be at this level?
Yeah, it's a lot of just figuring out the offense, because our offense is great. So, like, you know, our offense, we move around so well, and we got such great playmakers. I get a lot of open shots. If anybody doesn't notice, a lot of my shots are wide open.
You like those corner threes?
Yeah,
they find you.
I find my way to my corner right there. And
It doesn't just happen.
Well, don't give it away.
I'm pretty sure they're on it.
I think they're on it now. But yeah, our offense is great. Coach DJ does a great job, and yeah, moving around off the ball and coming off screens hard and finding the right angles was something that I was doing but not quite learning at the Division II level. Here, I've kind of learned the techniques and how to get an advantage on my defender and, you know, come off and get open looks.
What about defensively? How have things been different for you defensively? I know Richie puts such an emphasis on the defensive side.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a topic of discussion a lot for me, but it's so much faster. You know, like I'll never forget the first time, even being in a practice when I first got to practice, but the first game, it just felt like I was standing in the middle of like a NASCAR race. It was just going so fast. Yeah. But I've learned so much. You know, I'm not the greatest defender now, but I've grown so much. Honestly, like my people back home will be like, dang, you're really playing defense. And I'm like, that's not what they're saying here. So it shows the growth. But yeah, it's something I'm trying to do better at.
But it's crazy because I talked to some coaches before the game, you know, all throughout the season, and every single one is like, I can't believe how quickly Taelon has picked up, you know, our entire system. And you didn't even practice during the summer. So was that just like more time in the film room, or you've always had a high basketball IQ? What's caused, you know, such an easy, not transition, but just like picking everything up?
Yeah, I would say it's different here. My last school, Arkansas Tech, we ran like 100 plays. So like I had to know every single play, every single counter. So coming here where we just kind of run out of concepts and we kind of just feel like the flow of the game, whatever the defense is giving us, we take it. So I feel like with that, you know, completely switching like my offensive approach, this is a lot easier to pick up than something like that. So they do a great job of doing that.
You guys obviously playing super well right now. What do you feel like is the biggest area of growth still there for you guys as you come down now the home stretch of the regular season?
Yeah, I think it's pretty evident, but just limiting other teams to one shot. You know, we got to crash and get the glass. We're not the biggest team in the conference by any stretch of the imagination, so we got to all focus on crashing and getting the glass. So I think
by the way, double-double for you, 10 rebounds last
first
game.
ever double.
How many double-doubles did you have?
Maybe one.
Really? So even Arkansas Tech, you weren't getting many double-doubles.
No.
Okay.
Messed around and got a double-double.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Never hurt nobody.
Yeah, that's good.
You guys had success early on in this season, but when you look, you know, today versus game 10 of this season, what's the biggest difference in this team?
I don't know. To be honest, I think we've been kind of flowing on the same track all year. It just looks different against in-conference opponents. You know, they bring a little different level of physicality, and we've just been in some dogfights. So
Winning on the road, because last year, and you weren't involved in this, but it was a struggle in conference. I think we're 1-7 on the road. Is there a certain level of confidence that comes? What changes after you find some success on the road? Because it seems like kind of that, it's something about that where teams just suddenly think, oh, no, this is what we do. We win on the road. It clicks. What has that been like? Because for you guys, you found it.
Yeah, it's a very tough in Conference USA to win on the road. Every time we get back from a road trip, I'm like, man, that gym was crazy. Those fans were crazy, whatever. But yeah, winning on the road, it's huge for us because it's so hard to do, and then it feels like we're supposed to win at home. So knowing that we went and stole 2 that, could have went 50-50 to come back into play at home where we feel like we have a great advantage is big for us. So.
And Coach McKay has mentioned a lot about belief and unity with this team. Where does that belief come from?
Just the work we put in, every day we practice and we worry about today. That's what Coach has been saying lately is just worry about today, get better today. So just being able to practice every day and, we got our practices, I don't know if you guys have been, but they're very intense. We got great guys that maybe don't get the minutes in the game, but they put in all the work behind the scenes to get us prepared. So, yeah, we're very prepared for every game going into it.
You had a great Players Lounge episode. Did you see Brett Decker Jr.'s recent? Is he really a freestyler or? Because it didn't sound like it.
I would say lately it's been his thing.
Lately.
Lately
he's picking it up.
He's picked it up since what? I think the FIU road trip.
Yeah.
I was about to be like, since what, Friday?
Yeah, since the FIU road trip, he's been spitting some bars. So.
Okay.
So yeah, and I was there. I was actually in the locker room when they shot that. So yeah, he's pretty impressive. That's son.
Yeah. You're really a mentor to him.
Yeah, Grandpa.
Yeah, I didn't know about this rapping stuff. I didn't know about that before. I would have kind of told him to chill out.
Yeah, we don't need that.
I'm supportive of anything he does. So
That's good. I got some quick ones for you. First off, people are always surprised to find out you're a twin.
Yeah.
Right? And your brother, and you've mentioned this, like he's like the football body, right? Is that right? Like
that's my younger brother.
Oh, that's your younger brother.
Yeah,
It's like okay.
big body. Yeah,
okay. Yeah.
My twin, we're similar builds, so.
Okay.
Are you identical twins?
Fraternal. We don't look anything alike.
Yeah,
He's a darker complexion, dark hair. He's a little skinnier, a little shorter.
2 sets of twins on the roster as well, because Kai is also a twin. So there you go.
That's right.
Yeah.
So who would win in one-on-one with you and your twin?
In basketball? Oh, me.
Yeah.
He played football. He was a wide receiver in football. Definitely. I quit football.
Could you? I was
Does
going
he
to say.
still have eligibility?
I could see you playing a little receiver. Was that never a thing for you?
I don't know if you guys will believe me or not, but I don't like getting hit.
I believe it.
After watching that cramp episode, we can understand that part.
Yeah.
You can see that part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't like getting hit?
Who likes getting hit,
I don't know. A lot of crazy guys on that football team.
Hit, but yeah.
Okay.
Oh my! I think didn't Chadwell talk about Taelon?
I think he
weren't you guys like talking about it when we were doing some game
like
a couple weeks ago?
Weapon, I don't know. We can
throw
talk
your
about
jump ball.
We'll see if there's any eligibility in there. I don't think McKay
couple
would be
other
down for
ones
that.
for me. Biggest difference this year being a married student athlete now, as opposed to before.
No, it's it's like having a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like nothing's really changed on that end, but I get to come home to her every day, every single day. I get to come home to her. We get to talk. We get to eat dinner together. So it's a blessing. Like whereas before, after a late game, like we'd have to see each other the next morning or whatever. So it's great. And then she can be when she's at the games. It's the best.
That's great.
Sweet.
All right, last one for me. This comes from my daughter. I said, I asked my kids, what do you want to know from Taelon? And she wants to know, what is a shooting drill that you've done that you feel like has been the most helpful for you in your career? This is from Ev.
Just trying to get
She
better.
wants to know.
She's
just wanting to get better.
better.
Yeah, shooting drill. Is there anything you've done that you're like, that's been huge for me over the years?
I would say we when I got here, they had us do this drill. It's called ringing the bell, right? And we shoot 5 shots at 5 spots, and you have to make 20 out of 25 to quote unquote ring the bell.
Okay.
So that's what I was doing.
Corner, wings, top of the key?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. 5 at each spot. You can only miss 1 at each spot or whatever. You have 5 misses. So that's what we've been doing, and
Get a lot of shots up.
Getting a lot of shots up and ringing the bell a
Yeah.
lot. So it's,
Man,
that's good.
I would
Yeah.
still be. I don't know when that practice
And we
was that
have
you guys
a-
are doing that, but I'd still be there right now.
we have a actual bell that we ring, so it's kind of a
Okay.
fun thing to do whenever you get it.
That
So-
is cool.
Wait, so are you like competing against someone else to beat them to 20 shots?
No, but
On the other side?
when you ring the bell, it logs. So like every time you ring the bell, you have, you text the coach and they track how many times you rung the bell. So
okay.
I don't know who's leading it. It's probably not me, but yeah.
I don't know.
I've got one other thing. Where in the world is the Flame Central mug right now so we can get a promo done
I
here?
don't know, Doug.
I mean, do we
Doug-
have a
Might
Yacht
be able
Talk
to go
mug? Do we
get
it.
have
Doug, it's over
something?
there.
Yeah,
on
we'll
the-
get it. We'll get it.
I mean,
Sorry.
come on.
Guys,
This
yeah,
is
we'll
do
have
have
Taelon, this
mugs.
is tradition right here.
Come on.
So you can,
This is tradition.
I forget what people even say. I'm Taelon Peter, and you're watching the Flame Central podcast.
Powered by
Stop.
Alcova Mortgage.
Powered.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we'll get it. This guy's a pro. He knows what he's doing.
There it is right there.
Here we go. Here we go.
Yeah. Doug, bring it in. There you go.
There
you
we go. There you go.
Right there. All you want you to do.
We'll get you a new one too,
we'll
because
get
we're
you-
getting
yeah,
new
we're
and
getting new
improved. Because
ones,
those
new
ones I
improved.
keep saying
We're
look
gonna
like
get
they
you.
were Xerox on it.
This is Taelon Peters.
Look right
It's a Flame Central podcast, powered by, right there, powered by
And
Alcova
font
Mortgage.
too.
Alcova
Taelon
Mortgage.
Peters is a Flame Central podcast. Be a
Speaking
pro.
to
Be a
America's
pro.
heart.
Speak to America's heart right now.
So this is Taelon Peter.
Yep.
You're watching the Flame Central podcast, powered by Alcova Mortgage.
Boom, boom. Give it to him good.
That's good. Oh, that's good.
Yeah. I
That's good.
tapped into
Turn it
I
on.
tapped
Yeah, whatever
into
that
the-
was.
Tap into that.
I tapped
Yeah,
into
tap
the-
whatever that
tap
was,
into
that was
the-
good.
The
Yeah.
locker room.
Yeah,
I
tap
almost
a little
started singing
flair.
it.
Put a little
Yeah,
flair.
yeah, whatever.
started
Yeah,
singing
Yeah,
it.
sing it.
Oh my
Sing
God,
it. Do
you
what you
can
gotta do.
freestyle it.
You
I'm
sing
not
it.
gonna sing.
You
I'm not
can
gonna sing.
freestyle
I'm not
it.
gonna. I got you guys. But
Okay, go.
the way I looked at the camera, I just got into that mode. I captivated myself.
I mean, he was like,
He captivated himself.
I'm acting like I'm talking.
he
to
was
my
kind
wife.
of giving the eyes, you know?
This is Taelon Peter. You're watching the Flame Central podcast, powered by Alcova Mortgage.
Oh,
That was, see, and he didn't even look down.
Yeah.
He's got
looked
it
down.
right here. That's the
Seasoned
basketball
vet. Send that to your wife.
IQ.
She'll like
Yeah,
that.
high
Seasoned
IQ.
vet.
Yeah,
Seasoned
high
vet.
IQ. Yeah.
Taylon,
He's a high IQ guy.
congratulations on such a successful season so far. Can't wait to see you guys down the stretch. Flames Nation, get out to
Yes.
Liberty Arena.
A couple of big games here at
Saturday
home.
at 2 p.m. You guys keep it rolling.
Yep.
Don't let him see you hurt.
February 27th. That's my birthday.
February 27th.
That's the
play
Jack
Jack
State
State
game?
game.
Oh, for the Jet. Okay, good. That just made the broadcast.
I'm not
Oh,
gonna-
wait.
I'm not
Oh.
gonna say how old I'm turning,
That's
but
fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
good.
yeah.
We'll definitely
I'll have
mention
family
that.
in town.
That'd
Okay.
be great.
And then
Oh,
senior
nice.
night.
Little birthday bash.
Senior night on Sunday.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay,
I think
so
Alcova Mortgage do one. They set those little tables outside. I did Reese's birthday party there. We're gonna have a Taelon Peter family
Birthday
birthday party.
bash.
I'll get a cake.
That'd be
We'll
great.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
We'll set
Yeah.
up the tables and we'll get the little blow things and put the
That's
hats
what
Oh
they
my
should
gosh.
do. You know how
we'll
we
put confetti all over the court.
like last game
Yeah.
they passed out the towels right for the whole game. They should do like birthday hat and those
Birthday
little
hats
blower
and
things.
little-
Yeah.
So every time you hit a shot, all you hear is.
Well,
And
Can we work
gotta
on that?
We gotta make this work.
You're not allowed to
and
have
Party
noise
City is
makers.
going out as business, so maybe I can get some deals.
We can get it for a song. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, no pressure on hitting shots.
yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
You got to kind of come through on your end, but
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
be ready.
Okay,
you go.
wait, I meant to ask you. So the next two games, so Saturday is
FIU.
it's Hawaiian night.
Right.
Oh,
And then the other one is Survivor night. Which one? Well, I'm sure you're gonna pick your birthday.
Yeah.
The Survivor night.
Yeah, yeah.
So you guys gonna play and like
No,
Oh,
I
God.
don't think that works. I don't think. No, I don't think so.
all right, well thanks so much.
Strong finish.
Sorry.
We limped to the finish line there
I
on that
had
one.
a
Yeah.
strong finish, and
Yeah.
then I didn't know about the
Yeah.
birthday thing. So come out, both games. We're celebrating Taylon's
right.
birthday bash on the 27th. Can't wait.
come on,
Let's do it.
Taelon. Bring it home, baby. Bring it home.
Thank you guys.
I don't know how you vote for CUSA Sixth Man of the Year,
We don't have a vote.
but
We don't have a vote.
we don't.
Whoever does. Maybe it's, I don't know if it's
But-
coaches. I'm not sure. But like, come
I
on.
need. Do they have a mailbag?
Yeah.
Because
we'll
I need to
start
send
stuff in the ballot box. Yeah.
because Taelon Peter is the real deal. And Coach McKay, we did a feature on him from Flame Central. Coach McKay, like, he saw his highlights online and he made a point to get in front of Taelon Peter when he found out he was in the portal. And wow, it's almost like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he nailed that one.
He nailed that
Absolutely.
one. Maybe I'll ask him about it at halftime for Hawaiian night.
Seems like a good time.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the Diamonds softball. Wow, hot start in the Clearwater
Bama.
Invitational.
Down.
Beat UCF 5-4, Charlotte 6-4. Number 12,
They
Alabama.
said, we want Bama.
Roll.
Down.
We want
We
Bama.
want
Bring it
Bama.
on.
We want Bama.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's it.
Love it.
Coach Dot was right when she's like, just wait, just wait. However, Then Liberty lost its last 3 in that tournament. Number 15, Mizzou, Wichita State, and Auburn. So it's not like it's no-name teams.
No.
And another point is they lost all 3 of those games by like 1 or 2 runs.
Yeah,
so really close
What a great
and
experience
Yeah.
such good experience. I think this
Great
is the year.
I mean, let's go. Yeah.
I think this is the year we'll
I'm with
remake.
you on that, Emily.
You know what?
I think this could be
right.
the year.
The other
I think
part
this
of
could be
that
the year. Yep.
is like Rachel Roop hasn't even hit her stride yet.
Exactly.
So you think about last year,
There it is.
she was just on fire early and felt like she was the offense for a while. It hasn't been her yet. You know, her obviously we know how good she is, but there's been a lot of other pieces that have been helping produce for them early in this lineup, and that's an encouraging thing because you know
Right.
Roop's going to come around. By the way, just came out just moments ago.
Is this hot off the press?
Hot off the press. Softball America new poll came out, and Liberty holds steady at number 20.
Perfect.
There you go.
Gotta love it.
Hold steady.
Liberty will return home for the Liberty Softball Classic Friday.
A little different
is-
weather here than in Clearwater,
Yes.
I think, this week.
Oh, I feel so bad for them. They have to endure the cold like
We
us.
got a big snowstorm coming in.
I think
They
we're only
keep
getting a
dialing
couple-
it back.
Yeah.
I don't know. What are you hearing? Well, we can get into this.
Ben Yock thinks he's the meteorologist in our
Yes,
family.
yeah.
And he says the big one's coming.
Oh, really?
The big one's coming. Then I talked to he's dialing it back, and
Yeah.
it's got. We don't
Oh my
know.
gosh.
You know
You
what?
don't know around
But
here.
usually
Right.
when they dial it back, that's when we get.
Yeah,
like,
I'll tell you this.
inches.
During, and we'll get into baseball, but yesterday's game, the wind.
Get
I
into
mean, you
it.
guys know how strong the wind was. Like
Tell
gusts
him
of
about
45
that.
miles
Tell
an
him
hour.
about that shot out to left field.
I mean, there's a ball to left center guy hits, and it was caught in right center. Like it was there was a ball
What?
fouled off above the new baseball facility that ended up landing like this far foul. Like it almost came all the way
No
back
way.
in. Yeah, it was. I thought it bounced off something.
Oh my god.
It was wild. But I did have somebody
You
on
could not
Twitter
pay me enough.
reach out to me and say, Matt, you are not the one to be talking about the wind and the weather. That's Emily's role. Why is she not there doing
That's a
this?
good point.
That's not
I'll
your
tell
job.
you
Stay in
why
your
I'm
lane.
not
That's
doing
basically what they said. Stay in my lane.
What was the football game that got rained out for lightning for which game was it?
The ECU game that was like the
ECU,
5-hour
ECU,
delay?
yeah, ECU game.
yeah.
Emily was a crack.
She made a name for
staff.
herself.
You really made a name for yourself on that broadcast with your
Yeah,
crack staff
as a
reporting.
meteorologist.
Thank you.
Yeah, you
Thank
did.
you. Wow, so many compliments. Well, okay, I'll give you guys your little gift.
Oh, see, we buttered her
Right
up.
behind
That's
me.
why
You
we
know,
do
you're
that.
so
she wrapped
sweet.
them.
Wow.
She wrapped
You
them.
wrapped them.
Oh, boy.
You know, straight from St. Lucia.
Lovely.
What is St. Lucia known for?
You're about to find
Oh.
out.
Known for they're known for the 100, I believe the 100-meter Olympic champion came out of St. Lucia
That
from,
is actually true.
from the last Olympics.
Oh.
Speaking of track, congrats to Allie Zealand. Maybe she should be your new mile.
Allie Zealand's a real
Allie
deal.
Zealand, 436-mile record.
Whoa.
Look at that.
Volcanic sulfur mud soap.
Oh, no.
Joe and I can put this on each
You
other.
Time out. Time out.
Oh, my
it's
gosh.
a mud soap.
I
Some
can,
mud soap. So if you guys want to, you
Caribbean
didn't
That's
get,
it.
if you didn't get your wives anything for Valentine's
yes.
Day,
when is that?
that was Friday.
Oh.
It's you know what? This is authentic. It's made in St. Lucia.
Well, I hope
I'm
so.
telling you, Matt.
Made in China.
Yeah, wouldn't that be great if you turned it on and it said "Made in China"? That would
Yeah.
be unbelievable.
my gosh.
Emily, thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
I've
Oh,
never had any of this.
Joe, I got one more for
Oh,
you.
I got it.
What?
Joe,
Just
one
me?
more for you.
Oh,
Yep.
wow.
Geez, I must
Get
be
the
one.
get the camera on Joe.
See, this is
Wait, what
why.
this? That's the
uh-oh,
Liberty
what is-
University.
What is this?
Oh no. Oh no. No way.
What?
This is
Is this
breaking
breaking news?
Emily
Emily Austin.
Emily.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
For our non-YouTube audience, it's a small child.
Emily is pregnant. Somebody about ready to get pregnant. man.
Matt's panicking. Like, when
Yeah.
is it?
What?
Like, how
hold
much
it
time
up.
are you taking off
Hold
work?
it up for everybody to see. Look at that. And
Oh,
that
my
means that
gosh.
you already know what you're having.
Yeah, we're having a little girl.
Oh, I was gonna say your son's gonna be really embarrassed someday if you don't know and you just went with the little.
Yeah,
cute
exactly.
No,
little-
I actually
Yeah.
went with the boy on Friday, and then I had to go this morning and exchange it.
Oh,
Because-
what news this
Unbelievable.
is.
Congratulations.
Jason is
This
going
is
to be a fabulous
girl dad.
Oh,
Yeah, I
he'll be
think
the
he's going to be
best.
so good. But this is breaking news. I haven't even like, my family doesn't even know.
Well, they
I'm
better watch the
kidding.
podcast.
I'm kidding.
You heard it tell before this airs.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Oh,
so
that's awesome.
I wanted everyone on the Flame Central podcast means that much to me.
Yes.
So
Oh, Flames
we-
Nation.
I
There you
always
go.
thought I'd be a boy mom, but
And just there's not twins or anything.
no. Praise the Lord. I don't. One is enough.
You
but
know what? When I walked in here, I
Weird.
said, "What?" You know, the back of my mind.
Man,
said,
Emily looks a little bigger.
I said,
But that, you know.
hold on. I really said two things.
Yeah.
I looked, I said, I know she just got back from St. Lucia. Boy, she's put on some weight. And then I thought to myself, but she has this sort of motherly glow to her.
Oh my
right? And then little
gosh.
did I know, there it is.
Well,
Sure,
there it
you put
is.
on some weight
That
and you
poise
have a
is going
motherly
to be
glow.
tested for
Yes.
you then in
Oh
the
yes,
future.
this
Yeah,
poise
you'll get a chance
definitely
to
is.
test
I need
that.
to talk to Coach McKay about that.
Yeah.
But no, it's been so hard to keep a secret because I can't stop eating and I'm like sleeping under my desk at work. I'm so
But
tired.
that's
and
pretty
that's like,
normal.
where
That's
is
pretty
it?
normal.
Yeah, that's
that is.
both those things are fairly normal. I did
Oh my
ask her
gosh.
months ago. I said, just please break this news on the podcast.
Yeah.
So thank you
did.
for.
So I
thank you for doing
haven't
that.
posted or said anything
Yeah.
online
Oh,
or
this is great.
social
Unbelievable.
media. So that is my surprise for you guys. Yeah.
Well,
What's the due
Baby
date?
cut on the way. We'll discuss that and
Okay.
with everything with
Okay.
Matt and,
Wait a
and
minute.
work and everything tomorrow. No, I'm
Oh,
kidding.
boy.
He's doing the math.
Yeah.
He's doing the math in
Yeah.
his head right now.
Yeah.
She knows what it is.
Yeah.
That means she's certain along.
Oh, boy.
But let's talk a little bit about track. Speaking
How do you
of
transition out of that?
How do you transition?
well,
to
hopefully
track?
I have a little track star. I need to get
Yeah.
Coach Bingham,
There
you
you
know, like
go.
on the
There you
hot
go.
seat for continue the track career, not the crack career. Holy smokes.
That's-
Reese Webster
smoke
won the
crack
60s,
while
set a
you're
new record in the semis. In the track meet this past weekend, like I mentioned, Allie Zealand 4:36
Stop.
broke her mom's, like ran a faster mile than her mom, I believe,
Dude,
and
that's
that's
a
a new
crazy
freshman.
time for a girl.
4:36.
crazy time.
And what's crazy is she like I think that there was like
She was
20
like
people.
20th or
Yeah.
something.
No way.
It was a
Yeah.
really, it's a really
There was a
strong
new
field.
collegiate record at 4:23, I think, or 4:25,
Yeah.
which is
because
insane.
Allie's really more of like a long. Correct me if I'm wrong here. Isn't
No,
Well,
she
her-
more
the
like
she
miles
was like
her
set the
thing.
high school mile
is
record.
the
Yeah.
mile? Okay, so
Yeah,
she does the long, but the miles
I
really.
think
her
that I
thing.
think that is kind of her
Okay.
sweet spot. But
Okay.
yeah.
I'm highlighting more of the girls because, my theme of having a girl. So, thank the Lord that girls sports were saved. Just want to mention that.
That's true.
Amen to that.
Also,
Right,
also All-American field hockey player. Yeah, she's running track. Reagan Underwood won the
Stop it.
open 5K at
She hasn't run
17:35.
track since high school.
Yeah.
She exhausted her field hockey eligibility.
So she
just
just runs
started
track.
running track. Just stud. We've had her on the show.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
just stud.
I'm like, this is my sport, track, and you ran a faster 5K by 2 minutes than I did. Like, I sucked.
I like how she turns. Congratulations, but really, I'm going to use this moment to tell you about me and,
Yeah.
and
No.
bury myself.
No,
Yeah.
I'm
Myself.
just
Talk
saying.
myself
I'm
down.
saying, like, that is incredible.
It
that
is. It is.
that like, holy smokes, it's like really not easy. And she just, okay, I'm gonna start
just an
Well,
playing this
guess
sport.
what? You're pregnant, and I bet Reagan Underwood isn't.
I
so
can't even run them.
We don't need to start going down.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna wrap things up with some spring ball
Yes,
talk.
and then we have mailbag as well.
And we have a mailbag, so we'll go quickly here. Some notes that Coach Chadwell said after one day of spring ball, so you can't look too much into this. Their schedule got all messed up
Yeah,
with the
right.
weather, obviously. He said that this team's a lot of fun to be around. They really hit the nail on the head with like an attitude and like the right mindsets
Good.
to fit in, which you need that. I think that was kind of
Good.
lacking.
learned.
Hopefully that breeds some leadership on this team.
Good.
QBs are picking up the offense on the board like really well, and in the film room need to translate that into practice. That obviously they haven't really done that much. So Berger is not practicing, still feeling effects from Buffalo game. So not sure if how much we'll see of him in spring ball. Jaden also not practicing. He mentioned with it, which this is interesting, the linebacker depth and talent is probably the most improved room.
I'm glad
than
you
any
mentioned
other.
that. We met two of the transfers, one, and I forget their names right now, but one the kid from Michigan, the other the kid from Florida. Both really impressive dudes just to talk to. Very, very, you could tell, very smart kids. And coming from both those programs, like they played some ball. So those two linebackers are going to be fun to watch.
Right. And that's like
That's been an area we've been kind of walking the tightrope on in the last 2 seasons, really.
Yeah.
So,
To earn your opportunities, to earn your reps. That's a big word for them this spring and leading into fall. So we'll see who earns some playing time and who earns that job under center.
Quickly before the mailbag, if I wanted to earn up to $5,000 as a Liberty
not
alum.
$5,000.
Right, up to $5,000.
I thought it was 1,000.
Up to $5,000 as a Liberty employee. Of course, if you're also an alum, how could I do that, Joe, when I'm getting a new house?
You know, it's not hard. I mean, it's pretty simple. All you got to do is go to alcova.com/Liberty. Deal's already set up for you there. Click on the link, fill out the form, give Joe Yock a call. This isn't just done on the World Wide Web. No. And there's personal to it.
Right, personal touch.
Yeah, we're just not going on the World Wide Web. The personal touch, we call it. We figure it all out for you. We'll explain it all before you make any decision. Here's what you know. You know what your interest rate is. You're going to know what your closing costs are. You're going to know what your monthly payment is. It's all going to be set up. And then when you come to closing, you're going to be like, what the heck is this?
Yeah. So
what is this? It's a line. It says it's all these charges. Oh, I got to pay for appraisal. I got to pay tax stamps. I got to pay attorney's fees. Charges. And then at the bottom, there's this little thing. It's called lender credit, the Liberty deal, 1%. So, for example, you have a $400,000 loan, you get a $4,000 credit back on your closing. That comes off your bottom line from all those closing costs. It's the best setup around. As they say around town, it's almost
too easy.
Too easy. Yeah, and it's spring, baby. So that means some houses going up for sale. So good time to move. Mailbag.
Every time I use my mailbag.
Thank you.
FlameCentral@liberty.edu if you want to send in anything for our mailbag.
Yes, let's start with Gavin. He's a listener from northeastern Pennsylvania. He wants to know, he's a big Packers fan. Do you believe that this year Malik showed he can be an elite backup with a chance maybe to start somewhere down the line? And would it be wise for the Packers to try to just lock him up even for the next 3 to 5 years, basically, is what he's saying, because of his similarities with Jordan Love and the way that they play the position.
The second half of that question, yes, but Joe, take it away.
I think with that coaching staff that they have there, I think if you were to sit down with Malik and get an honest opinion from him, I think the thing that he appreciates the most as a football player, and he said this pretty early, is when he left the Titans and went to the Packers, was he felt as if he was being coached in a way with the Packers that helped him to be the best quarterback that he can be. And so when that continuity is there between him and the coaching staff in Green Bay, they both know that. And you got to lock him up, because in the NFL, you're honestly, to make serious runs, you're only as good as your star quarterback is, but you're also only as good as your backup is, because so many of those guys get hurt and they need somebody who's high quality in order maybe to help them survive games. And so what I think in Malik's career is you're going to see one of two things happen. You're going to see him I think he's that guy that potentially could play in the NFL for 10, 12 years and be a backup, but then come in and be really successful as a backup. Or I think that's a lock, right? Especially if they can lock him up in Green Bay. With that coaching staff, they keep those players together, the coach staff together. And then the other side of it is, can he get the opportunity to play well enough where he becomes tradable potentially for something more, and he becomes a starter somewhere else, or his contract's up and he becomes a starter somewhere. So I think either way, but to answer your question, yes, I think Green Bay 100% has to have the mindset, because the continuity there more than anything, that they need to lock him up.
I just like him in Green Bay.
And he's the perfect temperament and personality for a backup.
Right.
Right? He's a humble guy, always been a team guy. He's not going to cause problems. That what you can never have is that backup who's causing issues. Like, it's not worth it. But he's great.
He's the guy that if Jordan Love is to struggle at any point, like there's many backups, and I've been around this, many backups are in the locker room, like, hey, maybe it's time for me to get a shot, right? That's not him. He's the kind of teammate that would say, hey, let's work through this. He would support the starter all the way through until obviously his number was called.
All right. Next question from Doug. He says in parentheses, not your Doug, so not different Doug. He said he was watching one of the last Liberty games and he heard McKay yelling at the official about something, and he was wondering when was the last time Coach got a technical. It was actually in that UT Arlington game earlier this year. I think that was the first time in like 7 years he'd had a technical.
Really?
Yeah,
he got teed up in that bizarre situation
that
with
was a
a
hot
UTA
mess.
coach who was like trying to go at our bench, and McKay got. And it was almost
the
like
UTA coach thought that Coach McKay said something to one of his players, but he was asking the ref to like relook at one of the.
It was a wild situation.
I think
So
somebody
one
kind of like
T
hit
in 7
exactly
years
what.
to answer the
I
guy's
think
question.
that's
it?
I want to say it was the first in like 5 or 7 years.
Yeah,
It had been
because
a long
Coach
time.
McKay talked about it after the game.
Yeah.
He's like, I haven't had that. I think it was like 7 years.
Now I think a young Coach McKay. I've heard some stories.
Little fiery guy.
He was fiery.
Yeah.
Like very fiery. He probably picked up a few back in the day. All right, a couple more.
Wow, that bag
Reese
is popping
wants
off.
to know. He said,
Not Reese Young.
not Reese. Yeah. He said, I know Joe gets all the attention for not wanting to run 1 mile.
We're back on this again.
The fans like want to know, Joe. They want it to happen. You've been just
dodging it for too long.
right.
I mean,
kicking this can
literally
down
2
the road
years.
for multiple years.
Yeah.
I wonder they even remember. But Joe gets all the attention for that. But what does Matt Warner do to stay in
thank you.
shape now that he's retired from the JPL?
Yes.
Well,
that's a great question.
I'm actually really not in shape. So nothing. So that answers that. That they're nothing.
Well,
Matt, it's
was
so
that
funny,
Reese? Is that
Matt-
Reese asking that question?
Yeah, Reese.
Reese,
Matt has so many injuries, and we all do. at
Yeah,
this
we're all
point.
just-
Hey,
Moving
Reese, let me
along.
tell you something.
Yeah.
Reese, let me tell you something. A couple things. One, Matt's on the sub list for the JPL. He got the call up, I believe it was last week.
Yeah.
He didn't answer the call. Okay, so that is a strike against him there.
He's a
However,
family man.
however, Matt is a very well respected. Once a member in the JPL, always a member.
I left him get
Still has his blue blazer. Once a member, always a member. Matt is very respected in the JPL. And
There's Blazers.
yeah, there's blazers, and with a crest. And
crest.
Matt's game-winning shoes from his last championship when he hung it up still hang in the corner post of Hell's Half Acre over at the JPL.
Yes, thank you.
That's
for
how
that.
much respect he has in the league.
I appreciate that. I
All right,
appreciate
final
that, Joe. That means a lot.
mailbag question.
Jeff wants to know, a listener from Southern California.
Man, we are.
I know,
we are
coast to
warm.
coast, baby.
Coast to coast.
His daughter goes here.
LA to
He wants to know about
Chicago.
women's basketball. We mentioned them winning the couple of games this week. He said it feels like they're getting more points from their bench this year, especially some of the young players. Feels like that's been a huge difference. He just want to know, has it been more than typically? Like, what kind of bench production have they been getting this year? So
It's a crack staff.
last year, our crack staff put them on it. Last year, they got about 14.5 points per game off the bench.
That's decent.
This year, they're getting over 28 points per game
What?
off the bench.
Oh. Jeff
So,
Wow.
so yeah, Peen Steenbergen,
Definitely.
Avery Mills, the freshman, the other freshman.
Wow.
Dude, 28
big.
points. That's
That's
crazy.
Yeah.
huge.
So they have
That's
a lot. It's like a whole second unit
Yeah.
that they've been able to play, which has
Wow.
been great for them. And it's kind of the opposite of the men. They're a lot deeper in that way. So that's been big. So yeah, that was a great question. Let me see. Do we have one more?
By the way,
ahead.
senior day is on Saturday. Or no, it was this
Was,
past
yeah.
Saturday. We have a piece running on Flame Central this week on Emma Hess. That is awesome. So you want to check that out, kind of celebrating the
Last
senior.
question, and someone asked this last week, and I failed to touch on it. Actually, a couple people asked about Isaiah Enan for next season. He is eligible to come back. He has another year to come back next year from the injury,
He has not.
and have not heard anything at this point that would indicate he's not planning on coming
Yeah.
back next year. So obviously a big loss this season, but yes, he can come back next year. So Flames look forward to getting him healthy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for sending in all your questions to our mailbag, flamecentral@liberty.edu.
Send 'em
Once
in,
we
get a
get
mug.
once
That's
we get those new mugs in, you
You are-
guys are
oh,
going
man.
to blow
Oh,
us up
man.
because they are
what
just.
was the order? I just kept signing off on them.
I know,
We're approved.
Yeah, I appreciate
Approved.
that about
Yeah.
you, Joe.
Approved.
Thank
I
you.
get
I'm
things
sure
done.
they're shipping to your office, so I'm
yeah,
not sure
but
when.
we
Yeah.
didn't know what a date was.
I don't know what the
We'll
date
do
is.
it.
We don't know.
We'll
We don't know
figure it
the
Put a
date,
staff
but
on that one.
hopefully soon. Matt and Joe are going to do their little volcano mask in the break room
I'm
here
ready.
in
yeah.
just a
So
moment.
good.
Yeah. let's do that.
Thanks so much for listening or watching. We'll be
Let's
back
go to
here.
Wintergreen, go skiing, and then we'll hand the spa people. This is volcano.
Okay. Oh,
from St. Lucia.
Yeah.
Right, and then we'll just sit back and we'll put the towel.
Let's go
around
take
the
let's
whole
go take
deal.
a work trip
Yeah,
on
let's do a
Wednesday.
work trip.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, how's your skiing ability, man?
I've done it once on a hill in Missouri when I was in high school. So probably
Do
need
you
a
ski?
refresher.
I snowboard.
Do you snowboard? Like,
Yeah.
can you legitimately do it?
Yeah, I've
You
been
are? Okay.
snowboarding for 15 years.
Does Jason ski?
He skis.
He
yeah.
skis? Well, let's
Yeah.
go.
But we already have all of our gear and everything. So I was
Let's
planning
go.
on going on Thursday,
See,
not
there
telling
you
that.
go. Yeah.
Come on,
I'm just
buddy. Come on.
kidding.
Well, fine.
I don't even know if I'm supposed to be snowboarding.
Oh, you'll be fine.
In her condition.
Yeah. Now
I
she's
mean,
fine.
in my condition, I might get too hungry. Thanks again for listening or watching. For Joe and Matt,
Snacks up this chairlift.
I'm Emily. We'll see you next week.